Hey folks, this video is a video response to Ivanmike1968's video on internal versus external motivation in RPGs. And as you notice, I've titled mine Behavior Mechanics. Now, as he mentioned, back in the day, I used to play back in the day too, we just did what, we wanted when it came to behavior. Sure, in the original Dungeons and Dragons, we had alignments, and chaotic good people would not do that, lawful evil people would not do that, that kind of thing happen, and to give some basic parameters of control over behaviors for the game. And in general, I know I have mostly in the past played Brian inside an elf skin, or Brian inside a half-orc skin, who's pretending to be a champion of the deity, that kind of stuff. Very basic parameters, but still me inside. What would Brian do in this situation if Brian had these characteristics or these capabilities, that kind of thing. And as I've matured game mechanically, I've become more influenced, susceptible, whatever, to behavior mechanics. And at first when I was listening to Ivan's video, I was thinking, as a player and as a game master in general, I don't want to control the PC's actions and behaviors because I want to have that free will kind of thing. But maybe they need to be controlled in order to fit into their environment. For example, as soon as I finish up my Prince of the Apocalypse campaign, I'm going to start running RuneQuest at my local friendly game store. And in RuneQuest, the intelligent species, there's the elder races and there's humans. Human dominant, human specific. And then, there's these dark troll guys, and there are ducks, and there are elves, and that kind of thing out there. But these other species are aliens. How can you as a player really think like this alien entity we call an elf, or an Eldryami, who is a plant-based creature? Intellectually discussing between a GM and a player, you could probably get some parameters around that, but my perception of my world and how my elves act, for you to be able to do that, it's probably very, very difficult, if not impossible. And I'll often do the same thing with Dungeons and Dragons. Elves. How can you, as a mortal being who's, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, even consider contemplating what a person who is hundreds of years old would interact, deal with, do, etc. That is one of the concerns I have with playing in D&D and that kind of thing. But anyway, we're getting back to behavior mechanics. I have found that I actually really like that. Specifically, a game I played is Pendragon, where you've got a set of stats. There's I don't remember how many of them. But you've got a set of opposing stats. You've got chastity versus lustfulness. You've got courage versus cowardly. You've got prudent versus, I forgot what it is. You've got energetic versus lazy. You've got all these contrasting characteristics. And it's on a scale of 1 to 20. If one is 1 and the other is 19. And then there are mechanics so you can get over that, so you can get extra bonuses and those things. But you can roll against those things, and those things help determine for the PC how his character would act. And after they get to a certain point, the character no longer has a choice. And if the GM sees the character acting contrary to what that characteristic says he should be acting as, you can make him roll. And I've come to really like that. That forces role playing on the PC. Now, it's just Brian playing an elfskin anymore. It's a guy with 18 cowardly and a 22 lazy who wants to go and fight the dragon. No, he's not. He is going to just sit in camp. You know, that kind of thing. And yeah, those numbers were very high and exaggerated, but let's to get the point across. You know, generally, you're talking 8 to 12. That's average. You can do whatever you want, pretty much. And in Pendragon, once you get, I think it's 16 or higher, is when the GM can mandate rolling to make sure you act in accordance with your character's personality, for lack of a better word. And I talked about this in the RPG a day thing about morality stats and having a game designed around that, the 7 deadly sins and 7 knightly virtues, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, so that's my spiel. Having behavior mechanics, I feel, forces role playing. Now, the whole cookie and going through hoops thing, I have to admit I've got issues with that in a game, saying in order to play this game properly, you must do these things. Well, okay, I'm not gonna play that game. But having factors that, and D&D tries to do this with 5th edition with the whole background and the 3, what they call, it's not passions, but there's the 3 characteristic background stuff that, you know, talks about bonds and those kinds of things. But ask yourself, how often do you really look at your character sheet and read through those and see if you are actually playing those characteristics? My experience has been, I generally don't. I should try harder. What about you?